Links to join the channel here, the various other subscribers. I got a mailbox, want to mail comics. So I guess I have to do a trigger warning for this because don't, if you're squeamish in the stomach, you're eating or something, you're probably not going to want to see this. Lizzo and the banana fish taco incident, and these are some of the dancers. That's I hope that stage is reinforced because that's a lot of weight on stage. You look at those chicks and you realize they're twice or three times the size of what women should. Well, women should look like anything. No, you're not fooling anyone with health at every size. Nobody believes that. You're just looking for a heart attack or stroke or joint damage or diabetes or all kinds of horrific diseases. Like the best thing to happen is if health at every size really, really goes away. And you never see this kind of stuff with men. It's weird. It's like men can fool themselves, but not to that extent. And I don't think women would be on board with a bunch of 300-pound guys dancing around on stage. Yeah, I don't suspect there'd be a lot of energy behind that. As you know, and there shouldn't be energy behind glorifying a 300+ pound woman. She is really big. So what happened, allegedly, is Lizzo, the obese musician, is accused of partying like a rock star, and her snowflake dancers are looking to cash in. I mean, this is, with rock and roll and with rap and the music scene in general, and you're on stage and you're touring, like this is the lay of the land a little bit. Like you shouldn't be asked to do anything you don't want to do. And, participation should be free and all that kind of thing. But this is what goes on. There's going to be a lot of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. You're not a church choir group who's going on stage. This is a rap group or something, I assume. So the allegations are that Lizzo was throwing parties and putting fruit in women's bonus holes and pressuring the dancers to eat it. Which, if you're a straight woman, is disgusting to go near that part of another woman, and pressuring anyone to do anything is really stupid. If you want to have a party, have strippers or belly dancers in the background, knock yourself out, have a drink and a smoke and relax. You don't need to try to outdo yourself at every party. Bring in some tacos and a nice assortment of premium hot sauces. Have a nice catered meal. People try to party like they think a rock star party's like, instead of just being themselves and partying like you want to party. I mean, Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses and those guys and Metallica were partying in the 80s like the way they wanted to party. But that kind of behavior is also extremely dangerous. They have ODs and car crashes and that's not a good lifestyle. Even they come out of it later like, yeah, we had to get clean and sober. That kind of stuff was killing us. To be fair to Lizzo, sex and drugs are pretty standard for Rockstar, and I suspect it's the same way in the rap community. If it wasn't for social media, people would think all this stuff, if you were involved in it, you would know that this is just the direction. This is just to be expected in that environment. So social media gives people the ability to complain and try to cash in for really stupid minor things. If you're a dancer for Lizzo and she turns out to be a total jerk, I'm sure the money is pretty solid, but you just leave. You don't there's no point in trying to make a big deal out of it. And the other allegations are, she's a celebrity, she's at the center of attention, and she's not a nice person. Well, you look at it and you go like, well, is the money worth it? Is there a ton of money involved? Am I getting something out of this financially? Is it worth it to put up with someone who's a little bit of a borderline personality disorder? And if it's a simple binary, there's enough money in it for you, you go along with it. If not, you just go into something else. So the other allegations are bizarre because Lizzo is easily over 300 pounds and she waddles around on stage, which is kind of weird because she must be burning calories just insanely. So she's replacing those by eating. And so she's got these backup dancers who are also fat, though to be fair, they're not as fat as her, because you'd be having heart attacks left and right. Probably because she doesn't want to get upstaged by a bunch of hot skinny chicks like the like cage dancers from the 80s and things. Where if she was really body positive and she really was confident in the way she looked, she would be fine with having skinny, healthy dancers on behind her backstage. But she's not. She doesn't want to get, because she knows people probably wouldn't be watching her. They'd be watching the attractive people who weren't. Maybe people are just watching her to wait for her to have a knee blowout or keel over of a heart attack or something, which is going to happen. You can't. She's not a little soft and chubby. She's over 100 pounds over. Anyway, so allegedly she was making fun of her fat dancers for being the fat dancers that she hired. So maybe she wanted them to maintain a certain size, or maybe she was just having fun making fun of fat people, which is a lot of fun. That is a good thing. Fat shaming encourages them to eat less and be healthy. If you can make them cry as often as possible, they'll thank you for it in the long run. You're actually doing the Lord's work. And there's that is not easy on the eyes. There's another fat grifter who kind of came and went, who sort of like for a year, she was getting a fat following, like fat positivity, I guess, the fat movement. The only movement where they don't, was a thing a couple of years ago. It kind of peaked, and I think some of the people were having heart attacks and strokes, and people realized, we probably need to shift away from this. But then stories started to come out about her. She had an online store. She was selling T-shirts and stuff, and either it never arrived or the quality was just, made in China, absolute garbage. And so her fat audience was trying to mention it on social media and trying to get a hold of her to hey, you got to fix your store, or at least start issuing refunds and get it taken care of. And Tess just blocked them, which is not what you want to do when, like, everyone else has social media too. It's like all this kind of stuff is going to come out. So the thing about not just, they feared that Liza was going to hit her. Wow. Not just fat social media celebrities, is that people who are enamored of them are following this illusion of what they think they should be. It happened with Liza and Tess Holliday, and on the men's side, it happens with Andrew Tate and Trump. But I will say Trump is more honest because he was always openly an asshole. So that was refreshing. You knew what you're getting into. And he was just refreshing and change of pace because the other politicians were so plastic and fake that when somebody comes along and is just openly a jerk, you go, well, you think he can run the country? I don't care if he's a jerk in his real life, personal life. Yeah, he can probably do a better job than a sociopath, and all the other politicians are just complete sociopaths. So yeah, sometimes a jerk at the apex is what you want. But Tate is just kind of a sociopathic pimp and woman abuser. So I don't know when that got cool. It's kind of weird that he has a following. The grifting illusion on the left is stronger than on the right because the left is a little bit more focused on empty virtue signaling, but it's for beliefs that they don't actually believe in. Where the best part of being on the right is that you start off being offensive right from the bat, so people know what they're getting into. The pussies get scared away immediately, and then they don't have a reason to complain later. Yeah, we want to see sexy, skinny young chicks in short skirts in movies and video games because feminism and diversity and globalism is absolute cancer. The more you say that, the more you put that out there, and it just starts helping move the window a little bit to the right. It normalizes it where people before were afraid to say it. Everything the Saul Alinsky left is pushing is absolutely evil. Barefoot, pregnant, base nationalism is the only way to go. It's easier if you're just more honest up front with your audience. That way a scandal doesn't come out later if they found out you dropped an epithet. It's not a big deal when you use them literally every day. It normalizes everything, which is based, friendly, and Chad-pilled. Let's take a look at some of these dancers. All right, so I'm guessing the audience for this is body-positive chicks who really enjoy eating and don't want any constraints put on them. So they enjoy being in being in an echo chamber and having their kind of illusions fulfilled of, this isn't chubby. They're all over 100 pounds over fat. No, carrying around that, what do they call it, visceral fat? It's like all these people are going to have very serious health consequences. I don't know what Liza, maybe 40? So after her star fades and she leaves the spotlight, I think this scandal is for her is pretty serious. Not because, if she was just a regular rock star, it wouldn't even be a scandal. But it's because she was dancing around with the rainbow flag, and she was, feminist and trans positive and body positive, and she was putting out all those just BS lines that the left puts forward. And for the celebrities, do they believe it? No, of course not. Most of them, no. Are they true believers? No, of course not. It's just a grift for almost all of them. They don't give a darn about any of it. There's the vegan influencers on social media, and then it comes out, oh yeah, I saw them in public the other day. They were eating a cheeseburger. What happened there? Oh, well, that's just for like a YouTube channel. It's like you get some chick who's super fit, skinny, and she's super fit and skinny because she's eating fewer calories, and she's exercising, looks great. But that's not enough to get a following. So you go, it's a vegan lifestyle. And that gets people on board with it. Like feminism, veganism, whatever is current, whatever's the fad. And the fad, I don't know if the fad right now is the trans thing. It feels like that is kind of on the way out. So I don't know what the next big fad is. I hate to think, because it's probably equally horrific. But they just jump on the fad, and then in their real life, they're eating a cheeseburger every now and then, or they're not even vegan at all. So it's like, yeah, that like being in really shredded shape and being a vegan would be a challenge. It's like most of the stuff you see online anywhere is a lie, and the sooner kids learn that, the better. The sooner they learn to think critically. Like, just because this chick has got a social media footprint, she's pictured with the rainbow flag, with the new rainbow flag with the whatever on it. And she has all these, she says exactly what you want to hear. It's like, she says precisely what everyone else is saying that's currently in vogue right now. Yeah. You shouldn't idolize like anyone, especially crap like, this is just, I look at this, I see this is peak Weimar in another way, because you're promoting this obesity, morbid, crippling obesity. Gross. America's in deep S. I think most people know that by now. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks to everyone over Subscribe Star. Thanks for the pocket knives and the comics and the coins. Those are I didn't know people sending coins was on the table. I thought it was just pocket knives and comics, but thank you very much for the coins with their unusual design. That was very cool. I will see you guys all next episode.